All right, Sunday quarterback time. We haven't done one of these in this type of situation. 56 points, the most points under Scott Frost at Nebraska. 56-7. We were at the Woodshed last week. They should have been calling this the Woodshed Saturday night. It was a impressive, dominating performance.
Yeah, this was the team, Andy, I think we had been wanting to see under Scott Frost for 4 years, where big play offense, execution, physicality, defense flying around. Everything showed up, even the special teams. By the way, there's an 84-yard punt, and I'm not making that up.
I know. I think it was the longest punt in a decade and a half for Nebraska. And you know what? I saw Scott Frost coming off the field. Trev Alberts gave him a hug. Ronnie Green gave him a hug. It was a big, happy homecoming for Nebraska. And part of the reason is they mixed up their offensive line. They shuffled the lineup, and man, did that work on Saturday night.
And I really believe that this was a head coach decision. I'm not so sure Greg Austin said on Monday last week, we're starting Teddy Prohaska, Nuri Nuelanen, we're benching Bryce Benhart, and we're moving Turner Corcoran to right tackle. I think Scott Frost gave this a lot of thought and said, we're doing this because what we've been doing has not worked. Statistically, the numbers show we were the worst offensive line in the country. We cannot walk out in front of this fan base with that type of performance again. And they changed it up, and it worked.
Man, they provided push and creases, and it resulted 53 carries, 427 yards. 11 different Huskers carried the ball. 12 different Huskers caught passes. When I ask you about Jaquez Yant, man, this guy came to play. Where has he been all year? We knew what he did in the spring game, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. Tonight was his coming out party.
Yeah, they kept talking about him being overweight, weighing in the mid-250s, and now he's in the high 220s. So he's lost a good amount of weight to get his body right. But you could see it in the spring. Like, this kid was different, but he just wasn't on anyone's radar. And he's gotten better and better. Benefited from the academic redshirt. It was a COVID year anyway. He came as a walk-on. Just think about that. And already earned a scholarship to start the year. You have to think the combination of Yant and Ramir Johnson, that's the physical/speed 1-2 punch Nebraska's been looking for.
I want to ask you about two plays in particular, the story within the story. Play number one on offense, the 70-yarder to start the game. I thought it was a huge tone setter for Nebraska.
Yeah, you look at that play, it wasn't a great ball by Martinez. Samori Torre came back and got it. It was going to be an interception. So instead of an opening play 70-yard deal, it could have been an interception return the other way. So Torre came back, made a great adjustment on the ball, just made a play. And Scott Frost said after the game, he goes, look, finally guys are just making plays and doing it on their own. Xavier Betts makes a play tonight. I mean, guys just have to do that, and it finally showed up.
And defensively, I thought a huge play was in that second quarter. It was a 28-7 game. Northwestern, they started to get the feeling that we're going to trade touchdowns all night. And JoJo Domann stepped up, made a huge forced fumble, and DeAndre Thomas was Johnny on the spot.
And, it was dicey there because 28-7, they score 28-14, they get the ball, start the third quarter. I think that's how Pat Fitzgerald was kind of calling the late second quarter. Like, look, we can score late and get the ball back to start the third, and then all of a sudden we kind of reset the deck. And Nebraska made a play. JoJo Domann had 2 forced fumbles tonight, 2 sacks, 9 solo tackles. He's playing at an all Big Ten level right now.
I want to ask you about the atmosphere here on Saturday night, one of the better ones I've seen in 12 years of covering this team. Pretty impressive, especially moving forward with Michigan coming to town next Saturday. Had to be a feel-good moment, not just for the team, but for the fans. It's kind of an exhale, at least weekend for the Husker faithful.
Yeah, just to see Nebraska dominate in a Big Ten game, it just doesn't happen. And to do it at night, beautiful weather. By the way, I'm looking at the forecast for next Saturday for Michigan, high of 84. So we're going to have a Bill Ramby top 10 day,
yep.
Top 10 day for this Michigan game next week. So it's all coming together. I mean, this little stretch, Nebraska had to create momentum. They got 4 out of 5 at home. Minnesota on the road. Minnesota, as we know, is struggling. They did beat Purdue today, but still, this is a stretch that Nebraska can turn this season, and they got through step 1 here on Saturday night.
Yeah, 5 of the 7, starting with the Saturday night game, is at home. Plus, you mix in a couple bye weeks. You're at home pretty much the rest of the season. But Michigan will be a tough task, especially with Jim Harbaugh.
Top 10 team.
Possible top 10 coming to town, and Jim Harbaugh coming to town.
And Jim Harbaugh's got this team playing with edge, playing physical. I think that's why Frost said, you know what, we're keeping Teddy Prohaska in here a few more series. We're keeping Nuri in there. We're keeping Jaquez Yant in there. We need to have these guys physically ready for next week because Michigan's going to be the best team we've arguably played all year.
Yeah, Michigan just dismantled Wisconsin. It's going to be fun. It's Michigan and Nebraska, another night game, 6:30. It's on ABC in Omaha. That means it's on KETV.